Hey PJs, welcome back to another video. Today I'm reviewing Berry Slimes. This is another subscriber's slime shop. As always, if you want to check out this shop, I will leave it in a link in the description down below. If you want your business to be reviewed by me, whether it's your slime business or any other type of business that you run, I do leave my email down in the description as well. Everything in this package came very well protected, nothing cracked or leaked. And besides the slimes, I was also sent a care card, a little thank you note, some borax which is labeled, that's always awesome, some candy, some extras, and then an extra stocking stuffer slime. As far as I could tell, the extra slime was just a basic white glue slime. It was very clicky and glossy, and it had a really interesting, almost plum color look to it, which I think looked really good. I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on brown colors in slime, but I think they look pretty good. For the review, they sent a total of 3 slimes. They all come in these 16-ounce containers with their slime shop logo on the top and the slime name on the side. Starting off with the first slime, this is Melted Gingerbread Man, which is a brown butter slime scented gingerbread, and it comes with a gingerbread man charm and decorative sprinkles. As you can see with this one, and you'll see with the other two, there is slime around the rim and there is some on the lid as well. The slime also comes underfilled. I've never seen these containers before though, so I don't know where the exact fill line is supposed to be. If it's where it is now and it's 16 ounces, then there's no problem. I actually like that because there's extra room in the container for more inflation, but if it's supposed to be to the top, I would definitely recommend filling it to the top, and if it was filled to the top before you sent it, I would recommend letting the slime sit for a few days after you make it because it does inflate. If you let it sit for a few days, it'll deflate, so then you can actually fill it to the fill line, because if you fill it to the fill line while it's still inflated, it will deflate in transit and come to the customer deflated. I absolutely adore the add-ins that came in with this slime. They're super colorful, and I think they fit the gingerbread man theme really well, and it really reminds me of the cookie day that my family has, where we bake like hundreds of cookies and we get to decorate them. It's just a fun time. We get to listen to Christmas music, and I love that day so much. It's got to be one of my favorite days out of the whole entire year. The scent was beyond amazing as well. It smelled exactly like gingerbread cookies and like mixed with really sweet icing. It was mouth-watering. My mouth was literally watering while I was playing with this slime. It's a very warm, almost bakery style scent, and smells exactly like the holidays. The texture on this slime is kind of fudgy feeling, but smooth like frosting. So if you can imagine like a fudgy frosting, that's what it feels like. It's really satisfying to squish, and the bubble pops are really loud. It also has really good thwocks, like when you poke it, it's really loud. It's extremely stretchy. It inflates pretty easily, and once it becomes inflated, it gets really puffy and fluffy. And I would say this is definitely one of those ones that would be great for any slimer, any person that wants to play with slime. This one has so much diversity to it. There's so many things you can do with it and play with it. Like, it's good for squishing, poking, inflating, holding. You can really do anything with this one. It's perfect for anybody. I think this is the most confident I've ever been with a slime. Like, I think literally anybody could play with this one. Like, take for reference my husband, who has dry, hot hands. I don't think this one would stick to him if it was properly activated. Like, you can see it sticking to me here, I'm not gonna lie, but that's because it's underactivated and I didn't really notice it until I was done playing with it. But if it's properly activated, I really don't think it would stick. I don't know what kind of like clay is in this, but I think it's perfect, and there's no residue, no tackiness. It is incredible. You already know this one is getting 5 out of 5 pajamas. Next up is Candy Cane Crunch. This is a white glossy slime that is scented like peppermint, and it has multicolored foam beads in it. This one has got to be one of my favorite peppermint themed slimes I've ever gotten, if not one of my favorite like winter themed slimes. It is absolutely gorgeous, and the base is extremely smooth and like extremely smooth and glossy. It reminds me of peppermint bark or like white chocolate. Like, if you've ever had like one of those white chocolate or peppermint bark bars, they're kind of glossy, kind of, maybe I don't know, maybe it's just the ones that I've had, but they seem to have like a glossy shine to them, and that's what this one reminds me of. The scent smells exactly like candy canes, and it's not too minty. It's hard to describe, but it's like, you can tell that it's supposed to be like candy canes, more on like the sweeter side, and you don't really get any of those like toothpaste smells. I know with mint scents, you just like 90% of the time smell toothpaste because, let's be honest, most minty smells smell like toothpaste, but this one really doesn't. You can clearly tell that this one is scented like candy cane. I'm usually not a fan of in-between textures like sleigh slimes or half floams like this one, but I don't know if it's like the glossy base to it, because it just doesn't feel like normal floam bases, or the fact that the beads are definitely like harder than most floam beads I feel in slime, but I think the texture works really well, and I'm actually a big fan of it. Plus the fact that this just looks so pretty, and it really reminds me of those candy cane kisses that you can get around Christmas time, and they're definitely one of my favorite kisses. I think they taste so good, and there's little crunchy balls in them as well, and they're good textures, okay? What's really cool though is that despite that low bead count, it does get really crunchy really quickly, and it has endless crunches. Like, even if you're really not trying to get crunches out of it, if you're just kind of playing with it, you're gonna constantly hear crunches. Once it does become inflated, it does get slightly tacky, which is kind of surprising to me considering the base was so glossy and smooth. However, I'm not really concerned about it because, as I've talked about it before, tackiness is sadly something you need in slimes that have like add-ins in them, especially if it's a white glue slime, because white glue slimes just don't like to keep things in like as much as clear slimes do, so you don't get to add a lot of the things that you want to add to them to like combat that tackiness. So I'm not really worried about it. It does leave some residue as well, however, which it does leave a little more than I'm comfortable with, but not too bad. Again, it's something that does naturally happen. However, again, it does happen a little more than I would prefer. Because of that, I am going to give this one 4.8 out of 5 pajamas, but I still really love this one. And last for this review is Winter Wonderland, which is a cloud and clear slime that is unscented. The white cloud represents snow on the ground, and the clear blue slime with penguin phemos and winter add-ins represents falling snow and the cold winter air. There's so many things that I want to talk about with this slime, but the first thing that I have to say is that it didn't mix at all during transit, during the week that it sat before I filmed it. It didn't mix at all. Like, that is so incredible. I don't know how it didn't mix, because the clear slime was kind of deactivated. That's partly my fault, but it didn't mix at all. That is so incredible. Also, I love that the description paints a picture for the buyers. I always talk about how like scents or just way slimes look will paint a picture in my mind, and this one is exactly like how it was described. It looks like a winter wonderland. Mixing this together was definitely a beautiful experience, and since it's two completely different textures mixing together, you feel the whole thing from start to finish, the whole mixing process, and it's just such a cool feeling. And once it fully mixes together, it becomes a super dense and gummy-like slime. Once the slime fully mixes, the color reminds me of an iceberg, and it's gonna sound really weird, but it like looks really refreshing. Like really cold ice water that you could like drink from an iceberg is what it looks like, and it's really pretty. The description says that it is unscented, but it does have a really light sweet scent to it. I don't know if that's maybe because they added lotion, or it could be the instant snow that they use, or whatever it is. I really don't mind. I just thought I would mention that it has like a very slight scent to it. I will also say that that dense kind of unique texture that it is getting, I would say, is from that instant snow. They're not using the typical instant snow that a lot of shops will use. They're using the kind that people will kind of describe as like a diaper filling, where it's got like the gummy feel to it, and they usually turn out like really clear when you add water to it. Usually with instant snow, if you add water to it, at least not a lot, so if you're not trying to make like an icy slime, the instant snow is going to stay white. With this type of instant snow, it likes to turn clear really quickly and make for really dense slimes, whether you're trying to make a cloud slime, jelly slime, whatever. And usually the problem with these is that the instant snow doesn't stay in the slime at all, but I think with this one it works pretty well, because since it's only like a quarter snow, you know, so you get to mix it into the clear slime. There's not a lot of it in here, so the fallout isn't an issue. Like, there isn't any at all, and it creates a really unique texture. Like, this slime is so dense, it bounces back on me, and it's definitely a workout playing with it because of how dense it is. It is pretty tacky, a lot more than I would prefer, but if you can find out how to fix the tackiness and keep that instant snow, I think you'd have a really awesome, unique texture. Because of the tackiness, I'm going to give this one 4.7 out of 5 pajamas. And with that, that is the end of this review, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. I don't think I have any extra notes for the shop. I think I said everything in the video, so if you did make it this far, comment down below what your favorite type of chocolate is. I'm a pretty basic person. I love me a good milk chocolate. Now I am signing off, and I will see you guys in the next one.